All right, everyone, buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into the world of Joker. Folie À Deux. You guys sent over some seriously interesting stuff from Digital Spy, and whoa, my mind is buzzing thinking about all the details about this sequel.
Sounds like we've got a real movie buff in the audience.
They really did their research. For starters, October 4th can't get here soon enough. Am I right?
It's hard to imagine a more anticipated comic book film this year.
The article reminds us that filming actually wrapped back in April, so right now they're just adding those finishing touches.
Polishing that madness.
Okay, so Joaquin Phoenix is back, obviously. Reprising his role, his Oscar-winning role at that.
Quite the act to follow.
Do you think he could do it again? Or was the first film like lightning in a bottle?
Well, Phoenix is known for completely disappearing into his roles.
Yeah.
To take on a character as complex as Arthur Fleck again, especially with the weight of that Oscar on his shoulders,
Right.
that's no small feat.
And this time he's got Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
Hmm?
What do you think about this casting?
Bold move, for sure.
It's a really interesting choice.
What's fascinating is that it's a completely new interpretation of Harley Quinn, totally separate from Margot Robbie's in the DC universe.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Speaking of Robbie, did you hear she actually gave Gaga her blessing?
No way.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of mutual respect between them.
That's great. I love that. Okay, new Harley, but what about the rest of the cast? Anything on them?
The article mentions some interesting additions. Harry Lottie, for one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he was incredible in industry. I'm really curious to see him bring that intensity to Gotham.
Oh, he was so good.
No one knows exactly what his role is yet, but they call it Key.
Ooh, intriguing.
And we can't forget Catherine Keener. She's always amazing.
I love her. She's always in such interesting projects.
Then you've got Jacob Lofland, who people might recognize from Maze Runner.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Seeing this mix of actors, all from different backgrounds, come together for this makes you wonder what kind of energy they'll bring to Gotham.
Totally, yeah. And get this, the article says there are 2 Podio trailers already.
2?
Yeah. They hint at the whole musical aspect that everyone's talking about and give us a taste of that Phoenix Gaga chemistry.
Well, speaking of things everyone's buzzing about, that title.
Oh, yeah.
Folie À Deux, it's French for.
Lay it on me. What does it mean? What does it tell us about the film?
It means madness of two. It's a psychiatric term for a shared delusion, basically, where two people who are really close, their folly, their madness becomes intertwined.
So this isn't just some cool-sounding title.
Yeah.
It actually gives us a window into what the movie's about.
Exactly.
Does this suggest maybe like a toxic codependency between Joker and Harley?
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
We know Harley Quinn, or Dr. Harleen Quinzel as she's known then, she was a psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum.
Right.
And Arkham is where Arthur ends up after the first film.
Okay, yeah.
So their meeting, could that be what sets this shared madness in motion? Could that be Harley's descent into becoming Harley Quinn?
Now, those are questions I need answered. But before we go full on theory mode, hold on. Let's talk about this musical thing.
Okay.
I'll be honest. Picturing the Joker breaking into song is a little
out there. I get it. The article actually addresses that, saying that Joker Folie À Deux isn't a musical in the traditional sense.
Okay.
Todd Phillips, the director, he sees music as an essential element, though. Like, think back to the first film. Remember how Arthur moved?
Yeah.
Almost like he was dancing. It was almost subconscious.
I can see that, yeah. So less about big dance numbers and more about music reflecting their inner states.
Exactly. Lady Gaga even said something similar, that the music lets the characters express what they can't with words.
Interesting. Okay, that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So now that we've covered the music, I'm dying to know what we know about the plot.
Yeah.
The synopsis I read said something about Arthur finding true love in Arkham.
Which honestly screams Harley Quinn. But here's where it gets even more interesting. It also mentions an animated opening sequence inspired by Looney Tunes.
Wait, what? Now that's just unexpected.
Right.
How does that fit in with how dark and serious Joker is? It feels like a total 180. Didn't the article also mention some possible bad guys?
It did.
Like, could we see Harvey Dent?
It really seems like Joker. Folie À Deux wants to keep us guessing.
Totally.
But there's one more detail that caught my eye. How long the movie is.
Okay.
It's apparently a full 15 minutes longer than the original.
15 minutes longer. Now that's interesting. You think that means we're getting a deeper look into Arthur's head? Or maybe it's a bigger story this time? Something that goes beyond Arkham?
Only time will tell. But you can bet those extra minutes will be full of surprises. And with Joker and Harley Quinn together, both of them dealing with their own issues,
Yeah.
It could be a powerful way to look at these really complicated topics.
It's like holding up this messed up mirror to ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
Gotham is like this city that's about to fall apart, and it shows our own anxieties about chaos versus order, sanity, madness.
Exactly. And with Folie À Deux, we're not just watching the chaos, we're being forced to think about how we see it.
Totally. But speaking of chaos, where does Arthur's story even go from here? Last time we saw him, he was like becoming the Joker, just causing mayhem.
And dancing in that red suit.
Oh, so creepy, but also kind of, I don't know, mesmerizing.
Yeah.
So now he's stuck in Arkham. What does that even mean for him?
Right.
Could they go deeper into his past in this one?
Maybe.
Like uncover some of the mysteries from the first film?
It's possible. The article even wonders if we'll see more of how Arthur actually turned into the Joker.
I mean, we got bits and pieces of it.
Right. We saw his dark humor, his love of theatrics.
Yeah.
But that laugh, the makeup, where'd that come from? We still don't know everything.
It would be so cool to see them peel back those layers, you know?
Imagine.
Show us what really made Arthur believe the world is so messed up.
Right. Like, what if we see Arkham through his eyes? We see him fighting with himself as he becomes the Joker.
Oh, wow.
And who knows, maybe we'll finally get some answers about his past.
Like his connection to the Waynes. Now, that would be huge.
Right.
That whole mystery was brilliant in the first film. But a part of me, I admit, I want a real answer.
A real origin story.
Exactly.
Though, on the other hand, what if the sequel keeps us guessing? Throws in some new twists.
That would be very Joker, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Speaking of twists, let's get back to those stairs for a sec.
The iconic stairs.
What do you think they mean in this part of Arthur's story?
Well, think about it. Those stairs became this huge symbol. They showed us Arthur's downfall.
His climb towards chaos, literally and figuratively.
Right. And don't forget how much they blew up in pop culture.
People were recreating that dance everywhere.
Exactly. So them being back in the sequel, it has to mean more than just a little nod to the first one.
Yeah, the filmmakers are definitely trying to tell us something.
Are they a reminder of Arthur's past? A symbol of that change?
Or maybe they mean something totally new this time. Like a new obstacle for him to face.
It's interesting to think about them like that, this thread connecting the two movies.
I like that.
But he's not alone this time. He's got Harley.
Right.
How do you think that's going to work? Their whole Foley thing, especially with Gotham being, well, Gotham.
That's a recipe for disaster right there.
You've got Arthur totally embracing the madness, thinking the world's a messed up place. And then there's Harley.
Who's usually shown as being seduced by all that. Drawn in.
Right. It's like watching two sides of the same coin, and they both show us different parts of chaos and madness.
And the article hinted that the movie's really going to explore that, right?
It did.
Will their madness together make things even worse for them?
Or could it somehow set them free?
Man, that's a big question. Gets to the heart of the title, doesn't it?
Folie À Deux.
Madness they share, but to what end?
Maybe that's up to us to decide when we see it. I mean, we're kind of drawn to these characters too, aren't we? This darkness they have.
Whoa, that's deep. But okay, before we get too philosophical here, I got to ask.
Yeah.
Any theories on what those extra 15 minutes in the movie could mean for the plot?
Ooh, good question.
Could Folie À Deux actually show us more of Gotham?
Interesting.
Like how the city's dealing with what happened in the first film.
Now that would be something. Imagine Gotham trying to cope with Joker's brand of anarchy.
Right.
The city basically becomes another character, reflecting the chaos inside Arthur and Harley.
Or maybe those extra minutes will tell us more about the other characters.
Could be.
Give us some backstory, you know.
Flesh them out.
There's so many possibilities.
So many.
But however Folie À Deux uses those extra minutes, is going to be a wild ride.
Oh, absolutely. Every little detail we uncover, the cast, how long it is, it all says this film's going deeper, challenging what we expect.
Which, in the world of comic book movies,
unheard of, almost.
Seriously. Speaking of fresh air, like, we need some fresh air after all that talk about Gotham's dark side.
Maybe a dose of reality before we get lost in the madness.
Exactly. So, Joker, Folie À Deux, it's shaping up to be just as wild and unpredictable as the Joker himself.
No doubt about it. We've covered the release date, the cast, those hints of a musical element.
Which, honestly, operatic might be a better word for it, right?
Totally. You're right.
Given all the drama, those heightened emotions.
It's definitely not going to be your typical song and dance number.
No kidding. It's more like raw emotion bursting through. Oh. And speaking of things bursting through, that extended runtime, 15 minutes. That's practically unheard of for a sequel.
I know.
What could they possibly be doing with all that extra time?
It says a lot about what the filmmakers are going for, don't you think? They're not just rehashing the same old story.
Oh.
They're giving it room to breathe, really digging into all the psychology of it all.
Which makes sense. And it gives them space to explore Gotham even more. We saw bits and pieces of the city in the first one, but
Right.
imagine a Gotham that's fully caught up in the chaos that Joker creates.
Oh, man.
A Gotham that's basically a reflection of Arthur's own messed up mind. Now that's a visual I'm here for.
I can picture it.
Whether Folie À Deux shows us more of Arthur's past or gives us this bigger picture of Gotham on the edge, one thing's for sure. We are in for one wild ride.
Couldn't agree more. And that's what makes this so exciting.
Right.
This isn't just another superhero movie. It's a deep dive into the darkest parts of who we are. Love, madness, that line between sanity and losing it completely.
Well said.
Okay.
It really makes you question what's real,
Yeah.
like looking into a broken mirror.
Maybe there's no one answer, though. Just fragments.
Pieces of a puzzle we got to figure out ourselves.
Exactly.
Which is what makes a film really stick with you, am I right?
Mhm.
But hey, enough from us. It's your turn, everyone. We've left links to the trailers in the show notes, so check them out.
Yes. Go watch. Go listen.
And then tell us, what did you think? What are your theories?
We want to know. Until next time.
Keep it real.